Okay, hello YouTube again. This is the Cherokee 140 I downloaded off of Simviation. This is my flight review of the airplane. One big problem you're going to notice right off the bat if you download it the way I did is there's no sound. That's okay if you're just wanting to fly, but if you really want the realism, that might be a problem. And the gauges are not that real. You can still tell, 40, 60, 80 on the airspeed indicator, and everything else you can still read. It's just not that realistic. And the first time I tried to fly it, it was very sluggish. It would not want to climb. It took the whole runway to get it off, and then I realized the throttle quadrant wasn't plugged in. So just check that if you think your plane's not getting very good performance. So, taking off out of Sitka, Alaska, on runway 29, you're going to take probably about 1,500 feet of runway. You can rotate about 70, and takeoff is done better with flaps, and then once you get some altitude, raise them back up. So right about now, I'm going to raise the flaps. See, they're up. And you can see there's no sound. And there's the Sitka terminal and the parking lot there. And be careful about your angle of attack if you do an external view, like I just climbed way too steeply. So you're going to level off about 1,000 feet for your pattern. So I'm still climbing. I'm at 600. Just going to throttle back a little bit, because this plane will go over speed very easily. You can see it's still going up even in a climb with reduced power. So I'm going to start to level off and begin my left turn for downwind. Be very careful not to lose too much altitude, because this plane will really sink if you don't use enough rudder and you're not conscientious about your throttle and your altitude. Just fly. You can fly straight lines or just this nice little semicircle around here. And when you're flying out of Sitka, you'll notice the sandbar right there. That's a good indication for about how far out you need to be on your downwind leg. And all the instruments work on here. It's interactive. The radios are interactive. I haven't used them yet. I prefer that on this type of airplane. You can see I already did one test flight. Called out the downwind. So flying downwind, you want to throttle back to about 30% power, because this plane will very easily go over speed. That's one more feature I do not really like about this plane. The exterior model, however, is of pretty good quality. This airplane was designed for FS 2002 or 2004, and some of you might know already that you can add FS 2004 onto FSX. So that's what I did here. I've tried to find a Cherokee that's designed specifically for FSX, and maybe we'll get better results out of that. Just check your airspeed a lot on this plane. It's very difficult, especially on approach. You can have your throttle all the way back and still be cruising pretty fast, but you won't have sufficient power to keep the airplane in the air. Not very realistic. So coming around onto base here, I'm just going to cut the power and pull back to bleed off some airspeed. This isn't a very realistic approach, but this also isn't a very realistic airplane. And once I start getting inside the white arc, I can lower my flaps just outside, but I don't really need it for this approach. This is a long runway, so I'm probably just not going to use them. I'm going to steepen my turn a little bit here. And I'm a bit high, so I'm just going to slip the airplane. And the slip is just cross control, in this case right rudder and left aileron. It slows the airplane down and bleeds off altitude. If you do fly an approach with flaps, I did on the first one, it's a real just combination, very tricky, of yoke and throttle to keep the plane in the air. And as you can see, we've touched down back on runway 29, and that completes the flight review of Simviation Cherokee.